partly for that reason, actually. The chance to work in that format I had when I directed a film of Hamlet about 20 years ago, and for some of the same reasons, but particularly here to take the audience on the journey, to absolutely put them in the train, take them to Jerusalem where we start, and to Istanbul where we then progress, and then we get trapped in an avalanche. We wanted to sort of experience that. But, you know, trains move around a lot, and even walking up and down a train can sometimes be a bit hazardous. So we wanted to add in some of that kind of spectacle. And when you've got 12 central suspects, this sort of biblical number of disciples, or a jury, if you like, you've also got, frankly, in wide shots, you know, you suddenly got a 12-shot or a 16-shot to have a kind of level of depth and sharpness in the picture. In this case, film, real celluloid has a kind of, I think, a sort of immersive quality, a sort of 3D quality. I just basically wanted to put people there, and I wanted to feel in a story about the golden age of travel, that that from the moment we open in Jerusalem, you feel the sun, and you're much more sort of, or more immersively in something that definitely is saying, you know, come to the cinema to see this, because the images are wider, bigger, and the sort of the idea of it is a sort of more kind of, or it's a differently sort of full-bodied experience. So it was the format for that.
Absolutely go to the cinema and see this movie. Do not wait, simply just because of how beautiful it looks. But I'm curious, nerd out just a few minutes about the 65 millimeter a bit more. The film was shot on, like, what, the only 4 cameras in existence that still shoot this or something? That's
right, and I'd seen them all in action, because there was privileged to be in Christopher Nolan's film Dunkirk, and so he was so, you know, flexible with, they did lots of handheld shots in that movie. These cameras are much bigger than normal film cameras, heavier and more unwieldy. So it was a chance to see Hoyte van Hoyten, who shot that absolutely beautifully, and Christopher, who framed things so interestingly. It just it made me feel quite bold about how we might move the camera. So, for instance, we're in a train, narrow corridors, narrow compartments. We needed to create camera rigs in order to be able to carry, for instance, a Steadicam shot. There's one sort of 5-minute Steadicam shot when we get to Istanbul station, and we start on our conductor, Marwan Kenzari, wonderful actor who plays Pierre Michel, the conductor. We track with him. We see Johnny Depp on the train and Josh Gad, and we track further around, and we see Penelope Cruz. She walks through the shot. Then we come over and find me and Tom Bateman. Then we track up towards a ticket office. There's 500 extras in there. And then we find Daisy Ridley, who's getting her ticket, and then we pan, and then we get onto the train, physically get onto the train to find Michelle Pfeiffer. Then we go down the carriage, and we're finding Derek Jacobi, and then Judi Dench, and eventually Manuel Garcia Rulfo, and then back to Johnny Depp and Josh Gad. And it's all one kind of swirl of activity, which was totally exhausting for the Steadicam operator. But inside that, you got a sort of smell of everything. Excitement of travel, this incredible collection of characters. Amazing, we rebuilt Istanbul station and a soundstage, and also entirely rebuilt the Orient Express. So
it's crazy. I was watching some behind-the-scenes footage of the station, and it looks like an actual train station that you guys shot. Like, you rebuilt a massive. The set for that is incredible.
It was such a thrill to do, and one of the loveliest things to be able to say to Judi Dench and Johnny Depp were coming on set one Monday morning, and they said, just remind us what happens now. I said, well, the Orient Express is about to leave Istanbul station. And they said, so what's going to happen, though? I said, well, the Orient Express is going to leave Istanbul station. That's what's going to happen. They said, but it's not going to move. We're going to get it. What are you going to actually do? I said, the Orient Express is going to leave the station. I said, okay, so open the doors. So we opened the doors at the end of the soundstage, and there was the track stretching out for a mile, and the real train in our real set, in our real Istanbul station, was going to move and whistle, and its engine was going to go, and they were going to leave. And they were really bowled over by that. And one of the reasons for doing something like that, not that you need this with these two great actors, but their childlike excitement about the thing leaving and it moving was in their faces, and you could see it and feel it. So suddenly you get that. When we were scouting for the movie, tough scout, obviously, wherever we've got to go on the Orient Express. To see all these people like the cinematographer Haris Ambalukos and production designer Jim Clay, they'd been involved in amazing pictures over the years, see them get so excited waiting for that train to come in. We wanted to do anything we could, whether it was the format or the the set builds to kind of bring. I always believe if you've got that kind of excitement on set, if you've got something real experienced by everybody working on it, not just the actors, but that the audience intuits it. You can just, they feel something's there that's different, may not be better or worse, but there's something extra.